How's it going, 3416? This is the introduction video for Module 2. Hopefully I can keep this one short. I don't think I need to go in as great a detail as I did last time. So hopefully instead of two 10-minute videos that nobody watches, I can keep this down to a tight 5 to 10 that everybody will see. So what are we in for going into Module 2? The big thing you need to concern yourself with is this sort of two turns. And first of all, we're starting to look at media that are approaching the modern era. We're going to begin looking more at media that are created through automated processes. So if right now what we're talking about is caveman media or stuff that precedes the Industrial Revolution, well, we're going to start looking at stuff that is influenced by mechanical power and steam power and electricity. So we're moving into newer media. We're not digital yet. We won't really get digital until week 4. The reading that you're doing is our second turn, and that is the turn to the postmodern. That is the turn to critical theory. And I do have a write-up on critical theory for you to read, which I don't think is too terribly difficult. I do mention some names that won't be perfectly familiar to you. The big thing to read, though, is Walter Benjamin's The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction. It's a little tough. I'm not going to kid you. So you should take your time, and you should keep some coffee nearby, compare notes with your friends or whatever, because it's a little dense. I can get through it, generally speaking. I can just read it in about half an hour, but if I want to really annotate it and take notes, I'm going to spend probably a couple hours with it. Anytime I go back to that text and I'm really marking it up and paying attention. Pay closer attention, I think, to the points. When he's providing examples, when he's going off and saying, oh, well, like this one thing over here, don't worry about that so much. Pay attention to the declarations. Pay attention to when Benjamin is saying it is this way with art, or it is this way with film, or this is what the work of art was like back then, and this is what art is like now. And bear in mind that he's writing in the early 20th century, so his now is very obviously not our now. All right, so that's Benjamin. I have a little write-up for you that hopefully you will find helpful. It's just titled "On Benjamin, Optional, Not Quizzed," and hopefully that clarifies some of the concepts. Looking at Module 2, you do have 4 companion projects. They're all quizzes about that. One of them does involve online articles, and I want to reiterate my commitment to you insofar as if an online article is taken down by the time a quiz comes up, or if it's altered, you will never be penalized for that. That's an unfortunate reality of trying to do a textbookless class, is that if something goes offline, I obviously can't quiz you on it. As of right now, in fact, as I'm making this video, one of the articles is down for quality review. So if it's not up by the time that you might be taking the quiz, I'll just eject those questions. We'll make it a 5-question quiz instead of a 10-question quiz, and no harm done. I try to provide backups whenever possible. So if that one is still down, I have provided an article that you can read that will help you to understand that content a little bit better. But you'll never be quizzed on a supplemental makeup article. You will have quizzes on Benjamin. I think that's only a 5-questioner because Benjamin is denser, because this requires more thought. He's also harder to just quiz on. I don't know what your high school experience was like, but not everything is reducible easily to a multiple choice quiz, nor should it be. I digress, as I so often do. I am wrong. I think I said you have 4 quizzes. You do have a discussion, and that discussion should be pretty light. That should be you and other students talking about what you're going to do for your midterm. I welcome your questions on matters of how do I do this assignment. I have some confusion. Am I doing this right? But I find that this can also be helpfully generative if you talk to your classmates about it. And that's really what Companion Project 6 is about, the midterm discussion. You have a quiz on my notes that I'll provide this week. The minor project for Module 2, I think should be pretty cool. I think should be interesting. I asked you in Module 1 to enact some really ancient media. So I wanted you to go out and work with your hands, get dirty, do something in terms of communicative capacity pre-electricity, pre-mechanation. So you really had to think about what media and communication were like for people, living in the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, the early Iron Age, and so on. Well, now what I want you to do is think about what that medium was and what is its modern equivalent. So I think I give you one example. I'm not sure because I didn't want to spoil anybody's. Yeah, so maybe I'm looking through the assignment sheet now. Looks like no, I didn't give you an example again because there's too many opportunities to step on somebody's toes there. But look at your medium in 3 different time frames. So the one you did should have been the most ancient. We're talking about Stone Age, Iron Age, Bronze Age, prehistoric, basically, or very early writing. Then maybe think about what that would have looked like in the 19th or 20th centuries. Okay, so what does that look like in the age of mass industrialization? What about the printing press? What about electrical power? How did that change the medium that you were working with in Module 1? And finally, what does that look like today? All right, so now we're in the digital, we're in the 21st century. How do we enact communication similar to that one that you did for Module 1? Straight up, some of them haven't changed that much. Some of them, if you're looking at certain types of material arts, we still do them today. All right, but there are some things that are going to be different. The availability of tools, the ability to learn how to do something is a big one. Once upon a time, you would have to figure things out for yourself, or you would, as an artist or artisan, apprentice to a master. Now you can look things up online. So there's some differences. How you distribute work is different in the digital era. So think about all of these things and then make some sort of, effectively I'm asking you to make a graphic. I didn't want to rule out anybody that wants to do a more text-based approach. I even suggest maybe you make 3 columns where it's got, sort of distant past, recent past, future, something like that. But I encourage you in my notes, be creative, have some fun with it. Make a good-looking thing that's interesting, and that you enjoy making. So anyway, that's Module 2. Got a couple minutes left to maybe peek ahead into Module 3. Module 3, your annotated bibliography is going to be due. In Module 3, you're going to get 2 videos. I don't see a way around it. It will be one very much like this, where I talk about the expectations for the core work, and then I will also do another video where I talk about where I review that midterm project assignment brief. A word to the wise, though, get started on that midterm now. You're going to have less time in Module 3 than you think you will. I've adjusted the workload accordingly, but you still got other work to do, and I would hate for you to run out of time on this because it is a big deal. So as always, if you have questions, send them to me by email, vmalesh@fiu.edu. That's vmalesh@fiu.edu. I look forward to receiving your questions. I do enjoy the interaction, and helping you to understand the assignment actually helps me to make the assignment better. So don't be shy about asking questions. I'm happy to hear from you.